Hey, and welcome back to Between the Built. Today's video we are going to be looking at the 2018 set 76108 Sanctum Sanctorum Showdown. I was lucky enough to score this set as a marketplace buy. He came with no minifigs, but he did come with some other builds and he was a pretty good price. I do personally love this build. It's one of the sets that I've always had my eye on, but to buy him brand new is ultra expensive. So I was pretty happy to get this. I did actually get this quite a while ago. He has been sitting on my shelf staring at me as I build other builds, saying, when is it my turn to be polished and put into the sea? Well, my friend, today is your day. So we will be Mills plating him. He is going to be going into the university corner that I am currently building on. If you've seen my other previous videos, we've built an ice cream Pilates studio for there. We are going to be pulling apart my Hogwarts castle and building that into the university, and it's just going to be a little bit of a college section. So I think that this would be a really nice build to sort of integrate into that. So we are going to be keeping the integrity of the build. I do want to keep this sort of facade, but I am open to changing up the build as I go. So if there are things where I'm like, oh, I wouldn't mind changing that, I'm open to that, as long as I'm sort of keeping this roof, keeping the color scheme, I'm pretty okay with it. I will definitely be using parts from my inventory because I don't think all the parts are here. I think the main parts are there, which I'm quite happy with. So like the way that I build my mocks is by building it brick by brick. I don't use like a program. It's not something that I'm not open to. I'm just not smart enough to work it out. And I would rather spend my time that I do get away from being a mum building with bricks than sort of looking at a computer. But it might be something that I look at in the future. I'm not against it. So this is what we've got. I'm going to pull it apart. I'm definitely going to give these bricks a clean. I'm going to download the instruction booklet off the lego.com, which is so cool how they do allow us to look at those instructions. I really do like that. These are the pieces that we're left over with. As you can see, quite the selection. This is going to be so fun. So the build is coming along really nicely. I'm actually really enjoying doing this. So we've kept the front as is. Obviously I've Mills plated it and I've sort of turned it into a bit of a corner building. So we've got our pizzeria is going to be here, Pepe's Pizza. So when you come in, you can see that I have bricked off behind it to make it a small little takeaway pizza shop. You can still see the oven, pizza on there, some of the signage. I've got Spider-Man up on the wall. So that's sort of going to be that smaller build. Then when you come in, this is the entrance to the apartments. So the apartments sit on top of the pizzeria, but I needed to do a bit more of an entrance. So this is what I've come up with. I've put the post box. I've built it in like you see in the pet shop modular. So I've done that. I've built that in and I've done some beautiful lights on the sides, which I think I got that inspiration from the bookshop modular. And then coming around, so coming in, it's a bit of an expensive apartment loft. I've used the tiles from Queer Eye from a Straight Guy that I've parted out. That set has got some awesome parts. Then we've got some artwork on the wall just to brighten it up. We've got some lights coming off the other side of the wall and a little table. So this is the stairs that are coming up into the apartment. So that is apartment builds that we see on top of the pizza. I think I'm still going to have the ladders and everything coming here, but the apartment I'm going to be able to have a little bit more space because I've modularized the apartment, and that's going to sit there. So I'm going to be able to do like quite a nice sized room, make it a little bit more luxury, which is fun. And then where the Sanctum Sanctorum is, I'm not modularizing that. I'm just keeping that as a big room. And what I've actually done is one of the poly bags that came out, I think last year, I've opened up the Doctor Strange, and I'm using that build because I can't really do the stairs that is so familiar with the Sanctum Sanctorum. I've decided to do it like a black wall, just trying to get a good shot of it, where he's coming out, and I'm going to actually have the minifig coming out of the air like he's coming out of one of his time rings. So I kind of thought that was a cool way to get around, still keeping it a smaller build, still keeping the beautiful facade, but not having to actually build the stairs. Okay, so it's pretty late at night, but I've worked up some energy to continue working on this mock. I've done the floors in the pizzeria. I just wanted to brighten them up a little bit, so I've done the red and green and white to go with the out the front, leaving a couple of studs for minifigs if I choose to put them in there. I've also tiled off the flooring in the Sanctum Sanctorum. So I'm running into some troubles with having Doctor Strange coming out of here. So I picked these up off the pab wall like 2 weeks ago actually, and I didn't account for this little bit here that sticks out. So I'm trying to work out how to get him to stick onto this ledge that I had left for him. And I just think what I might actually do is take him off there, take this piece off as well. And I might actually sit him on this piece here, because that's a little stud, and then I can easily stick that bit to there and not have to worry about that bit that sticks off because it's got a stud right there. So hopefully that solves my problem. And yes, it has solved it. So he's just sitting on one stud on the bit that you would normally stick into like a snot brick or something, and you can see him coming through the window. He's coming out of his time ring out of a different time, and I think that just sort of gives a story while not having much space in the Sanctum Sanctorum. So yeah, so she's coming along now to finish off here and to build my second floor, which will be the apartment, and then the roofing. So it's coming along nicely. It's been a very, very fun build, but I am now off to bed because it is very, very late. So we have finished the Sanctum Sanctorum, and this is what I've come up with. This has been such a fun build. Like, it's just been so exciting to do. Just using all different techniques that I've been learning over building the modular houses. There has been a few different modular houses that I have put into this build. So just gathering some ideas from ones like the bookshop, the pet shop, just being that smaller modular building. So starting with the facade, I have kept basically the majority of the build. I really liked the facade. I think it really does give that grandness that the Sanctum Sanctorum does give. I've tiled off a few things, like tiled off the front, tiled off the roof a little bit more, just because I did want to just give it that sort of more finished look. And of course at the front I have tiled that off differently and putting 2 planter boxes out the front just to give it some lush greenery. Then when we look at the side, joining it up, I have finished off the Sanctum Sanctorum to about here. My problems that I did with blending the two buildings was that I still wanted to be able to get inside the building, so I still wanted to make it modular. So to do that, I had to still make these two separate because I've kept the inside of the Sanctum Sanctorum to be one room, and I'll show you why I've done that. Coming back around to the pizza shop. So the pizza shop got Pepe's Pizza. I've definitely kept these ladders as I loved that. I loved the look of the building. I did run out of a couple of bricks here, so I've just popped these guys in, but I think like once I sort of do a bit of an order, I'll swap them over. I did use them in here to try and blend the building in so it wasn't like solid colors. I tried to bring it through. Kept the windows intact. I kept the pizzeria, the front of it exactly the same. This is going to be a sidewalk, and I am going to have like little minifigs trying to get some pizza, maybe sitting out and having a slice. This is going to be going into my university corner that I'm currently working on, different builds to place into that. So it is kind of going to be that fun vibe, you know, Sunday afternoon vibes. So it will be nice to have a couple of minifigs out having pizza and chilling. And then yes, so I finished off the roof. This roof was as is, and then I've just created, just with some slopes, a bit of detailing through that roof. Also to give it that detail when you're looking at it front on, giving it that nice detail there. I was pretty happy with that because I did get those slopes off a pad wall maybe a month ago. So that's worked quite well using a piece that you do get off the pad wall. And then I popped a little squirrel on there, that little on the top. So he just pops off like that. I don't know what this is. What is this? Does anybody know what this is? Like, I don't know what that is. I built it, I put it on because I wanted to keep the integrity of the building, but I don't know what that is. I have no idea. If you do know, please let me know. So when we open up, the top floor of the apartments is Peter Parker's apartment. So I have got his bed in there, got himself a little side table with a little lamp, and then because he was quite the smart one, I've got his little desk where he can study with the little microscope that was part of the build. I've also put a bit of a picture on the wall and your spiderweb. And here I really love this, and I'll get a close-up for you of it, but it's a little spider inside a little enclosure, and I just kind of like that because it's like Spider-Man. So yeah, and then of course on the side I've actually got maybe the friend of that spider. There's a slice of pizza on the floor. He's been enjoying pizza from Pepe's Pizza. And then when we go into the second part, well, the first floor of his apartment, just take this off delicately. I've just lost my flower pot, but that's okay. So this is when you come up from the stairs, you come up into the kitchen area. So I've made this sort of a little bit more luxury because I sort of think if you're going to have the apartment that's near the university, it's going to be a little bit more luxury. Like mum and dad are paying for your rent. Like, so I tried to make that look a little bit more, you know, you've got the beautiful tables and chairs, still a slice of pizza there because he is still kind of a teenager. And we've got your kitchen that's rarely used with your pot plants. I did a little side stairs because I didn't want that to completely take up the place. I won't really be putting any minifigs on there, so that's not going to be too much of a deal. Just a place to make it make sense. I suppose as I get better with Lego, I'll have more ideas of how to do stairs and how to make them not take up space. So I do know that in that new modular that's coming out, the museum, they've created some stairs that everyone keeps saying they're really good because they don't take up space. So it will be nice to build that and learn from that modular. Okay, so now coming over to the Sanctum Sanctorum. So the top section pops off as so. And I've just got the little desk in there for Dr. Strange. And that was pretty much the build as is. I just really liked the way they did that. So I kept that as is. Then when we come in, I haven't changed too much of this part of the build. So basically when you come into it, so when we come into the Sanctum Sanctorum, I did use the Doctor Strange poly bag that I showed you during the build, and I've created a bit of a black wall so that when it's closed and when you're looking through the window, it does sort of look like he's just sort of coming out of nowhere, and I really wanted that ring to really pop against the black. It also helps when you get black bricks off the pad wall. It does make it a lot more cost effective. So, and like I showed you before, I had tiled that off and I'd finished off that room, putting a bit of a bookshelf in there. And then also coming over, nothing much has changed from when I had showed you previously. We've still got the interior of both the pizza and the entry to the loft. Thanks for coming along the journey with me of building the Sanctum Sanctorum into a bit more of a modular set. It is really a great set. I am sad it's retired. It's just so pretty. If I could have picked up two, maybe I could have made this look a little bit more different. And I have tried to do it with just the bricks that I had in inventory without trying to make too many orders of bricks. Basically, I wanted to say also on this side, this is going to be hard up either against the university or against the ice cream Pilates studio. So I do recognize that some of that looks a little bit messy, but I didn't mind too much because I do know that that will be hard up. This is going to be more of a corner with these two facades on display. The back will be on display slightly because it is going to come through this area here. So I did still want to put some sort of detail in there, but not too much, as again, it won't be the front. First, coming along this adventure and watching this far, it has been very fun. Please put in the comments anything that you think I could change. I am still very much learning Lego and mock building especially. So there are some things where later on I go, oh, I probably could have done that, or I could have changed this. And this is the beauty about bricks. You can pull them back apart and rebuild something. And that's what's so awesome about our community, is people are so willing to offer up their knowledge, which is great. So yeah, so thanks for coming along with the journey. Please feel free to look at some of my other videos and let me know what you think. Thanks so much. Bye for now. Yeah. What do I say? Not sure. What do I say?